Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, episode number 292. On deck tonight, I was looking at the show information that had popped up, and I don't know why it was up, but it was up there. The Facebook page for the Crash Course was created on September 24th, so we cruised right past that. Yep. Just went right on by.
I was going to say that the first time I was ever on the show was the second episode, and it was just in my memories yesterday.
Yeah? That's cool. Well, I'm glad you found it. Welcome back. Tim Ellison here to talk a little bit about the...
Welcome back. I've been here 10, 15 times since then.
It's always good to have you in. Because I always know that when you come in, I don't have to worry nearly as much about talking.
Oh, that's why Corey's here.
Corey Luke's joining us here in studio as well. Tim Ellison in to talk a little bit about the upcoming fall cleanup derby that's happening at Paradise Speedway. Brian made the trip in as well. He was down at the SanFilippo Smash. We're going to be talking about that a little bit. But, of course, the news that really dominated the headlines over the course of last week was the, as you saw in the show open, we had a graphic that was put together by Hazel, I'm going to murder her name, Michalka, remembering Russ Clark, who passed away, of all things, in a motorcycle accident last week, which we certainly didn't at all see that coming. Driving his motorcycle and swerved to miss a deer, and just like that, he was taken from us far too early. He was a guy that I remember as being, he could say so much just by giving you a glare, and he didn't really have to say a whole lot. You know, it was even parts. You know, just an absolute tornado and perfectly calm. And he was such a presence in the inspection lines over with Smash It Demolition Derbies, both at Blizzard Bash, Capital City Carnage, and Bash for Cash, where we saw them so many different times. And you know, we always stayed on his good side, so we really knew anything about the fights that he used to have with Tim when they used to roll around in the garage. But
we
certainly surprising and a tough one to come by.
Yeah, it was very shocking. I'm actually the one that told Chris. I sent him a message, and you know, Russ had been fighting some health issues for a couple of years, and you know, when people are going through stuff like that, you don't want to. I don't know. You can't always. I don't feel right about, hey, how are you doing? So I guess I assumed that he had gotten sick again, and unfortunately it was that had taken him. But then I continued looking and saw that it was a motorcycle accident.
I literally thought that was the case, like still up to 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, no, he ended up.
Again.
Yeah, he ended up kicking cancer's ass a couple times.
That's good though.
Yeah, and
you saw him in March, right?
Yep,
and
he was there.
He just
beat it again.
I'm trying to remember if it was March or if it was in.
No, it was March.
May. Yeah, it was March.
And you know, you mentioned Russ, and he was a hell of a poker player, because you could never tell when he was upset. Every now and then you'd get the Russ smile.
You figured out.
Yeah, you'd get the Russ smile, and his smile was pretty cool. But you know, him and Tim both were and have been really great to us. I can't count the number of times I stood and listened to him and Tim talk back and forth about derby stuff in a big show. And I remember being at Capital City Carnage, listening to them talk about heats and how they're going to do stuff. And I'd pipe in with questions, because that's just how I am. I mean, if I don't understand something or don't know something, I'm going to ask. Yeah. And I didn't annoy him at all. He gave me the, a truthful, honest answer and explained things to me, and, really helped me to understand stuff. And it was just, it's a shame. I mean, it's, young, way too young. We got to feel for his family. I mean, Smash It, we've touched 100 times on how tight they are as a group and as a family. And, I sent Tim a text last week, and we talked back and forth for a couple of minutes, and sent Fatty a text. It's hard, and it's going to be hard for a while on those guys. So hopefully, sooner than later, they can start remembering the good stuff and continue on with the Smash It tradition and make Russ proud from above. Oh.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
We got you, Jeremy? There we go.
Yep.
We were just talking a little bit about Russ and Russ Clark and all the different stories and memories that we had of him and seeing him go through tech inspection line, and it's a good way to describe it too, Brian, with the Russ smile. You knew that something was brewing, or the wheels were at least turning.
Yeah, there was a smile
when you would flash that. Yeah, I'm certainly going to miss that when we get out there. But Jeremy Gulley with Spinning Wheels, working on something that's important to him over the course of the week. Went SanFilippo Smash number 4 with Spinning Wheels, 320 plus cars and 13 hours of derby. Sounds like it was a pretty good weekend.
Long, very long.
Tell me a little more about it. I understand Hirsch picked up another win in the truck, which before too long, I guess we're just going to make out the checks to him before he even unloads the vehicle. And Mike Klinger coming away with the Cup for the second year in a row, first repeat winner of that.
Yep. Hirsch's trucks, that's kind of, what we tried to design the trucks for, is to be able to run all year with the same truck, and he's definitely proven that you can build a truck to the rules and run all year. He's done fairly well. I think the only show he didn't win of ours was Holmesdale, but he broke some steering early. But anyways, SanFilippo, we had 321 cars, and then we had 27 guys that reran, whether it was bad luck in the heat or several of the Queens Clash cars came back out. And then we had 39 cars for the Cup, which really packed the track, and kind of was unexpected. Last year, I think we had 11 or 15 in the Cup. The year before that, I think we only had 9 or 10. This year, a lot of compacts came back out. So, 386 cars, I think, was 387 cars, something like that, was across the track in 12 hours, which is pretty amazing to me. We're going to try to tighten things up a little bit more and maybe make things go a little quicker, but not really sure how to smash almost 400 cars any faster than we did.
The on track pace was definitely at or above the expected level. They were, from the word go, from the first heat, they were getting after it. It was a great show.
Yep, fortunate or unfortunate, I don't know which, but the track surface has been replaced there in Morris, and we had rain for 3 days before, so it kind of was really sloppy on the top, but yet they were still able to get good bite.
Oh yeah,
it was definitely fast paced as always, kind of known for that.
Yeah,
had a great day, man. There was so many MPS families that made it out. I don't know exactly how many families. I made a brief stop over to that section. It was pretty warm and nice during the day, but once that sun started to go down, man, it got cold. And a lot of the MPS families, of course, they took their kids home and whatnot. But I know that several from New York and maybe even one family from Pennsylvania made it up. So it was a good time, some vendors. Jeffy was there and Casey Smith, and one important thing was that the families came together. The Derby family came together and just made the event a great day.
Jeremy, just real quick, I wanted to touch on the heat that you guys did. The first heat you guys ran, a young man who's got some health issues, not going to be able to drive on the road, not going to be able to drive safely in another Derby class. Jeremy and a bunch of his supporters and some guys from the original Double D's crew got together, and they had these two young men out there. One was riding with Jason Sherman,
Yep.
and the other was riding. Who was the other gentleman with Jeremy?
He was riding with Isaac was the young man's name, Isaac Wright. Tony Wright, his father.
Yep.
Been buddies since I've been back into the New York area, actually. And we decided, Isaac's always been a big Derby fan. And he turned 16 this year, so we could legally put him in a car. So we gave him his birthday present I gave him was a SanFilippo Smash registration paper. And it took him a little while and a few people to explain it to figure it out, but once he did, you could see his smile light up ear to ear, and I think the very first thing he said when he figured it out, Randy McCravey was actually at Tony's at his birthday there, and he told Randy he's gonna put him over the wall.
That's awesome.
He's gonna take out the sandbaggers first.
Yeah, they ran it down, and he got his trophy at the end of the heat, and
yep.
Like Jeremy said, his smile standing on the hood of the car. Somebody got a picture of it, and I can't remember who it was, but it was on Facebook, and the smile on his face was just absolutely priceless.
Yeah, we told him he had to do the Derby pose, kind of like the Heisman, but with the crowd in the background. It was a good picture. The crowd in the background. He's got his trophy, and that's what we try to do is try to make that about family and things that within the community, and it's just one way we could kind of kick the day off. Mm-hmm. We had a moment of silence for Mia and a moment of silence for Russ, and then we kind of wanted to shift gears and bring happiness. Everybody had a few tears and shed a few tears early in the day, and then we wanted to try to kind of reverse it and flip the switch and go happiness with it. And I thought that was a great way to do that, and make a young man's dream come true of being on the track, create a father and son moment that might not have been able to happen at any other point in time.
Yeah, that was very cool. This is my second SanFilippo, and just the growth from last year to this, or from last year to this year. The only thing I can really compare it to is like when you go to Bash for Cash and there's people standing everywhere, as that's how it was at Morris. Right. The only thing you didn't have, because they don't have stands on the infield.
Those 3 days.
Plus 3 days. But I mean, the stands were full, the pits were full. It was just, I think I read on Jeremy's post that around 4,000 or 4,000 people were there. I was thinking probably 3,500, but it was just, when Jeremy talked to the crowd beforehand, they'd had the drivers stand up, and they went from like where you come into the pits to the far end of the track, 2 and 3 deep in spots, full, and then the stands were full, and it was really amazing. I brought my oldest with me, and he's getting into the Derby sport, and I want him to see the good, the family stuff that Derby's about, and he's never really traveled with me to any of the big shows or anything, but I coaxed him out of bed early after a rough game, and he enjoyed it. He's kind of quiet. He's not like his dad, but he's like, Dad, it was really cool. On the way home, he was pretty impressed with it. So, just all in all, a great day. It was the relic class did, and I was talking with somebody, and I heard Josh talking about a new class, and I kind of missed it. But apparently next year they're going to wreck muscle cars.
Perfect.
Yes, we are.
Right? Piss more people off. I love it.
I didn't. All I heard was something about a Mustang. As Zach goes, Dad, I'd like to drive a Mustang. I don't want to wreck one. And I'm like, what are you talking about? But then,
I'd wreck one.
I'd
wreck anything. I don't care.
We continued on, and then I saw this stuff on Facebook, and apparently they're going to wreck some muscle cars next year. So that'd be something neat to try.
I'll say that probably explains why Dad doesn't let me drive his hot rod.
Yeah, probably.
Or his race car.
Probably.
Let you drive anything.
No, he don't. I'm not allowed to drive his pickup either. So that probably explains it.
Yeah.
I'll smash.
That's kind of the plan, man. We're outlining some criteria, but we're thinking somewhere around 64 to 72 B-bodies, Mopars, some A-body, maybe a few Chevelles, Camaro, Firebird.
I don't think I would wreck a Camaro, though. I don't think I could do it.
I'm going to have to try to find a nice old Camaro or a Firebird to take down there and wreck. Wouldn't that be awesome? I couldn't do it to a Mopar, but I could junk a Chevy down there. That would be awesome.
Oh, stop it.
That would be awesome. Nice Chevelle or something.
Pretty nice little 69 Nova today.
What's that?
But I found a 69 Nova today.
That'll do it.
Yeah,
I'm sure that'll probably end up in your pile. I know how things work down there. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Well, it's all about keeping things, regardless. I kind of look back at Ricky saying, in your head or in your heart, well, if you don't love us for what we do on the track, well, then we're in your head. And if we're making you think about muscle cars, that might stop. You might stop and look at what the cause behind it is.
Mm-hmm.
And one way or another, good or bad press is still press.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the way we think about it. The relics are awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love watching all the old relics and stuff. But it is getting to the point where, I think every car on the track this year was an Edsel. And so we may shift gears a little bit and bring something new and exciting for sampling. It will be our 5th year, and believe it or not, we've already started planning. We had about an hour and a half conversation today about it, and some pretty new and exciting things. Of course, our 5th year is going to be our most adventurous goal, and we're going to put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get to there, but we'll see. We're kind of finishing things up here, and hopefully, either tonight or tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we have. Josh is just waiting to make a post at the right time. We put everything out there, and had to make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed before we put the wrong number out there, and make sure everybody gets paid who needs to get paid, and we cost every year. It kind of costs a little more to do things because we add this or add that. And this year we had to bring in some stuff, and of course we added the fireworks, and so we're just kind of making sure we get everything done, and of course everybody did kind of take a day to relax and just enjoy life and enjoy the moment and soak it in. It's a pretty awesome feeling when you look at your hometown track, which Morris is of mine, and I know it seats 2,800, 2,500, somewhere in there. And when we started, we did start a little late because of what we talked about before, but there was no place to sit. Well, then you look to your left and you look to your right, and there's no place to stand. And when you look at those aerial photos that Eric Eberling took, it's, cars are just wrapped around just like they were last year. And it just seems to grow exponentially every year, whether it be just spectators or cars or both for that matter. It's just a heartwarming moment, a heartwarming day. It's very long for us, but very, very personally rewarding as far as that goes. And I got to thank my partners, Josh and Josh Decker, Josh Buell. They've basically, when we got Martin's diagnosis and we had this crazy frickin' idea, they've walked every step with me, and there's friends, and then there's friends that are there whenever, and Josh are true friends, and Brian Leonard, he's been with us since we started, and without those three guys, there's no way I could do it alone. And of course, without our significant others' support, there's no way we could pull off what we do. The girls from the girls from registration to Katie in the tent. Liz knocked the registration out of the park all year for me. She was very helpful, and if I had to give up if I had to keep one person and start all over again, it would be Liz. She's just phenomenal as far as that goes, and keep me organized, and there's just so many people to thank. I don't think I could do it all in an hour. And as far as anybody who won anything, I don't remember.
I was talking with Josh because originally we were going to have Steve Siopa on tonight, remember? And he forgot that he was going to the Steelers game last Monday. And then he forgot he was going to be in Florida tonight. So he's
for 2.
He said, so I messaged Josh. I said, so who should we get from SanFilippo, because it's not a qualifying process. It's just 97 heats.
Yeah.
So you can't just pick one. You can't pick one Mad Dog, and it just builds on. I had messages that were just a few minutes apart last week that we ignore everything local, and the next one was we don't pay any attention to the national because all we talk about is local stuff.
Sweet.
Okay. So,
perfect. We're good.
So 2 listeners off the list. I
yeah. 2 guys don't like us anymore. That's fine.
But I mean, how do you pick one? And we got kind of lucky that Klinger won everything he was on the track because he doesn't want to talk on the show anymore.
Yeah, he's good anyways. It's funny. I stood and talked to him for probably an hour, or not that long because we got there late. But I stood and talked to Mike for, I don't know, probably 40 minutes, and he's just as talk. But it's like Toby Hiley, talkative, but they don't want to be on the show, which we can understand. It's fine. But I didn't expect to talk to Jeremy tonight. He was supposed to be getting some tree stand remedy or tree stand therapy in, but unfortunately he had to get stuck talking to us clowns. So maybe tomorrow night he can get in the tree stand.
I got another load in Morris to bring home. I was going to go up, but I got to pick up the grounds, the car parts and stuff. Our garbage guy don't play with car parts, so got to go up and pick them up yet. But it's pouring up there, so I didn't really feel like it. So here I sit, catching up on some Atlanta Braves baseball.
Nice. Yeah, you might as well watch the Braves because the Steelers ain't doing much this season. So.
Yeah, they're not. I'll go start building for next year if I got to watch the Steelers game this year.
So I mean, and you mentioned it on your post, but I mean, what's it like for you to stand on the stage and see that many people there? I mean, can you put it into words what it means to you personally?
I can't really, Brian. There was several times that you look out on the track and you see out of 20 cars, 18 of them had Mia Martin's name on it, and to me, actions speak louder than words. Mm-hmm. And cars coming from 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 hours away, speaks volumes, mm-hmm. And I really can't put it into words, but I really can't describe it. It's like I said, you used to see a county fair, and you got 40 cars or 50 cars, and there might be 1,700 people in the stands, and you think it's packed and you think it's a good night. Well, when you look out over the stands and you see 3,500 people or 4,000 people, it's just amazing.
Yeah, and I think
and to realize that. I've heard people so many times say, that the reason the car counts are down is because there's no money involved. Well, we just smashed 321 cars, and there was no money exchanged hands.
That's just what I was going to hit on. Is we've
atmosphere. We had 5 promoters there, I think, and one promoter that didn't make the show, but they still donated. Wood Booger still donated to the cause. But there was 5 other promoters there, and you typically you look at a Utah show where they give away $100,000 and they only have 36 cars.
Yeah.
We had 320 here, and for nothing. For no money, and that was. There was several people that made the comment: I don't know how you bring in the cars. It's the atmosphere. It's the environment. It's the ambiance. I mean, the young man that got his car wrecked on 17 on his way out here. I'll probably mess it up, but I think it was Dustin Nugent got his car hit. He pulled in, and Virginia had, I think, 3 or 4 guys in the relic, or 3 guys in the relic, and 1 guy in another class. The Virginia guys, Sean Gokenauer, Shane Hammond, they're like, whatever we got's yours, man. Let's, we'll help you fix it. So they wrenched on his car from the time he got there till it was time to go to inspection.
Awesome.
Try to get the car back to where it needed to be able to be competitive on the track. And that's something that you don't see every day. And it was unheard of even when I was a young man. You walk around the pits at a derby and you start looking at somebody's car and it was like, you might end up in a fight.
Yep.
And that's kind of changing now. And I started seeing it years ago when I started to travel away from New York to the derbies. When I went to Metal Mayhem, I laid underneath a olive drab wagon. No idea who the driver was at the time. And he comes under, he's under there with me, and he's like, "Oh, this is why I did this. This is why I did that." I'm like, "Wow, this is kind of cool. This would be nice if we had drivers like this come to our place." So, I started kind of trying to bring that back. As young fellas come up and they want to look at something or ask me why I did something, and I show them,
Mm-hmm.
And there's guys come over to my shop and watch me put a motor in, or watch me do this, or watch me do that, or and it's just bringing that type of an environment.
They're supposed to be helping, not watching.
Well, I get it, but sometimes I don't like them to help.
I don't blame you. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So it's just trying to bring the environment, and it's all for a good cause, and that's we had a little bit of I won't say an incident that happened. The townspeople were a little bit riled up and had the mayor come up and talk to Lisa, but many of the townspeople said they didn't know what was going on. Apparently, they're not on Facebook. So,
there ain't no service out there. What do you want?
So I through an old fair board director, I was able to relay some messages to a Facebook group that the town is in, I guess, or whatever, and I kind of explained to them what was going on and what we were doing, and we're chasing that number one spot. We were 5 last year in the nation, and I'd like to at least move up one. I don't think we're quite to Blizzard Bash status yet, but there's a bar that's been set by Tim and Russ, and we're always chasing that bar.
The thing is you hit on it, and it's what I kept going back to all day long at work today, thinking about it, was the fact that you get 320 cars and there isn't any prize money. We talked about it last week, and obviously everybody in this room is a derby addict. I mean, Tim builds 47 cars to take to Waterloo. Corey builds them for his family, and Chris is we know how bad Chris has got it. But unfortunately, Derby's got a black eye in the motorsports world and in the general public. But show me something else where you get 320 participants from all over the country to come to a derby for free and wreck. I mean, I can't imagine the money guys spent on those relic cars. I mean, there was nothing that was junk or, and this. I mean, the two-man extreme, there was a lot of great cars in that.
Mm-hmm. I know. I wish me and Wayne would have made it again, but
I mean, it's just
he wasn't having it this year.
They just, and people look down on us, and I mean. And that's the thing I really took from Gulley, when he was talking with the family, when we had the families out on the front stretch, is, there isn't a group tighter than the Derby group right now, because we're the only ones that support each other. No big corporations want to help us out, so it's all us. And
I'm trying to get work to sponsor me, but they're not having it.
And across the nation, I mean, yes, there is, right now, Bash for Cash has a bigger car count than SanFilippo. But Bash for Cash pays out $40,000 or $50,000 that weekend. I mean, I guarantee you there isn't a bigger charity derby in the world. Guarantee it. I'd bet everything I own on it. So, I mean, you can't, the derby people are making a statement. And Jeremy, when he was talking, he got pretty emotional, which in turn got me pretty emotional. But, I mean, you can't, sooner or later, somebody's got to notice what we're doing. I mean, And it's and it's not just Jeremy's family, and it's there's a lot of families that they've helped. But I mean, you've seen it with other kids across the nation, where a kid gets sick. Come on, help them.
I love what you're doing here, but you got to remember that at the end of the day, the stuff is on one hand, yes, it's a business, but on the other hand, Demolition Derby is cannibalistic. You had people standing next to you at SanFilippo that were tearing down SanFilippo. They were still there on the grounds just to tear it down.
True.
The sport cannibalizes itself, and until we get over that hurdle, it's never going to change. Because if you
I believe you're right, Chris.
It's never
in a small-minded individual that can't see the big picture, they can't get past their own ignorances to allow us to get bigger.
Hey, Jeremy.
Some people are always going to keep us as Derby drivers in that bubble because there was 4,000 people there and one person was the cause of an issue.
Yeah, but it was only a bad idea because it wasn't theirs.
Well,
I'm just saying. It's only a bad idea when it's not yours.
I get it.
Tim's here representing the next local Derby because Derbies go around the 12-month rotation now. Tim's here working on the Derby that's coming up at Paradise Speedway, and yours is a different structure than what Jeremy's Derby is. But at the same time, it's built with the same general intent and another opportunity for
our
Derby
local
drivers
guys,
and the local,
for our local guys.
Instead of having to travel to Ohio, which Smash It's got supposed to have another Derby coming up on the 12th, and all the other fall shows. You guys are trying to do something instead of having to go to Wheel Days or whatever else.
Right.
You can do it right here at Geneva.
Yeah.
How tough is it for you to survive? How much nonsense do you guys have to go through?
Go through a lot. We go through a lot. I mean, but that's anywhere you go. That's if you go to Waterloo, you hear it. If you go to Canandaigua, you hear it. If you go to Trumansburg, you hear it. If you go to Palmyra, you hear it. If you go to SanFilippo, you hear it.
Yeah, but
I don't care where you go, you hear it. I mean, I've been one of them guys that have talked
about not you.
Yeah, to talk about a promoter. Yeah, I've been that guy. But now I see it from the other side of the table. It sucks.
Yeah, right.
And you really can't, you can stand up for yourself, but then you make yourself look like a jerk in the long run. Well, I always do. I mean,
you almost have to. You have to try to, and it sucks because I'm not very good at it. But you have to try to be political about it.
I just kill them with kindness. I just smile and wave.
But
here's Martin talking in the background. There he is.
Yep, saying hi. But I mean, Corey, you've seen it too. You've been at multiple different levels of Demolition Derby, at high levels around this region, and at the smallest of the county fairs. You've seen it as well. What about your role with the cleanup show at Paradise that's coming up this weekend? How much are you seeing coming to you that's different than what you'd seen when it was just kind of happening around you?
Nothing yet. Nothing yet.
I mean,
he's just getting involved, so nothing yet.
I'm just a flagger, man.
No, you're an inspector this year. He's an inspector this year. It just hasn't been dropped on him yet. Yeah. I made that call earlier.
Nice.
So I mean, I am looking forward to that. To this show, you guys have seen quite a bit of growth as this thing has continued to take form, and it's as much on the fall landscape as any of these other shows now, especially for the folks that are in our area.
Yeah.
You had a lot of traveling support for the...
I mean, we got the youth class, we got the figure eight, we got the trucks, we got the junk run, we got the compacts, we got the full size. I mean...
They're all good payouts.
Yeah.
They're very good payouts. I saw on the post last week. It's definitely, you had over 100 cars last year, right?
Yeah. We had 40-something compacts.
Yep.
It's nice, too, because, me personally, I've never ran there. I mean, obviously the kids have, but it's when somebody sees guaranteed payout, doesn't matter if there's 3 cars or 30 cars, it doesn't change. The price is still the same.
Yeah.
So
if
somebody's
10 cars complete, so only 10 cars show up, Dad's paying that money. It doesn't matter. Yep. I'm not talking 10 cars for each class. I'm talking 10 cars. Dad's paying out whatever that money says. That's what's getting paid out.
Yeah, that's very, very, very good.
Very important important to a lot of drivers in this day and age.
Yeah, I like guaranteed money.
Yeah,
like
that's-
myself going to Waterloo. There's no guarantee on what you're making because you don't know what they're paying until the end of the night when you get your check.
Very
They
true.
won't tell you
It's
until
almost
you
like
win.
the lottery. It's almost like the lottery in reality. You're betting on yourself to win. And if you know there's a chance, if it's guaranteed money, you go there. And it might be 1 in 3 odds. It might be 1 in 30 odds. You don't know.
Right.
But the odds are what they are, and you're guaranteed money at the end of the day.
Yep.
If you go there with a car count or a potential payout, or the promoter in the past has cut the payout, then you might second guess it. Be like, well, I'm going to go, and then he's going to cut the person half. So in reality, is it worth it?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's the question you ask yourself. And I mean, the only reason I don't go all the way up to Paradise is because it's my busy season during work.
Yep.
So it's a long way for me to go. When I've got a lot more things going on here and weekends. If you could move it to a Monday, that'd be great.
I'm sorry, but I'm off on Saturdays, so.
Yeah, that's,
3,000 guaranteed purse on a Monday, I'll make the trip.
and that's the thing. I mean, I've been in this game a long time, and there was one promoter that was notorious. You'd show up at his show. Geez, we didn't have 40 cars. I'm cutting the person half.
I didn't know.
Well, where did that other half of the money go? Because the racetrack is putting up the money, or the fair is putting up money. So where's that going? That's and that was and that's why I quit running. I quit traveling to those shows. I'm like,
you haven't seen me.
I'm a nobody.
You ain't seen me there in 2 years.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm a nobody. But I used to put on a pretty good show, and I'm not going to go. For every now and then a blind mouse finds a piece of cheese, and it's not worth it for me to try to go win a derby when it's going to be cut in half. I mean,
No.
It's not worth it. Those guaranteed purses are awesome, and it's. But for everyone that keeps talking about Derby dying and Derby this and Derby that, I think Derby's getting better every year. I mean, Jeremy's crew, they smashed 1,000 cars this season. That's pretty damn impressive. How many shows did you have, Jeremy? 7? 7,000 cars. That's a lot of friggin' cars a show.
Yeah.
So, Tim's dad put on a couple shows this year.
This is our second one.
Is it?
Yeah, we didn't end up doing the second show at the racetrack.
Oh, okay. So, and it's.
We only did one at the track this year, right?
No, you did it with Monster Truck.
Did
Yeah,
two.
with Monster Truck. Remember?
Wow. All right.
So, I mean, there's definitely some good stuff going on.
I think it's kind of a change in the regime of promoters too. There's a couple new promoters that have really come out.
Yes.
New age promoters, so to speak.
Yep.
Using the tools that we have now to promote the Derby instead of, well, they ran last year, so they'll probably show up.
Yeah.
That mentality. Or the guys that really don't give a shit who shows up, they're getting paid regardless, and they're out of there before the first car is loaded, much less the last.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
I think that will come into an end.
We don't leave our show until the very last person is loaded and on the trailer. And I tell you what, we're still there an hour after.
That's because you're drinking beer.
Well, I'm not. I'm there cleaning stuff up. But there may or may not be some beer being drank. But we're still there, and we make sure everybody gets loaded.
Yep. Yeah.
I got off the track at 105, 108, whatever it was, and I jumped in the skid steer, and I was in the skid steer until 3:45 in the morning, went to bed, got up at 6, went to work the entire day.
Yep.
So, it's the little things that show the drivers who really cares about them, or who really cares about their efforts.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, caring about them. Some drivers, some guys like to just see their name in lights, and that's cool too,
Yep.
But to some of the drivers, just to show them the appreciation of their efforts. Everybody knows it's not the Derby car of 10 years ago or 15 years ago. There's a lot of time put into these cars, and it's just the little things that I think sometimes
You ain't kidding.
set the promoters apart.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
the things that you guys are doing up there with the swap meet and stuff, that's something that sets you apart from everybody else.
Yep.
And it's something the drivers
trying to make the
know?
community better.
Yep.
I just like doing it because it brings everybody together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I might not know the next guy, but I'll stand there and talk to him for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to talk to me, then I'll talk to him. I don't discriminate against anything. I'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Around the fire barrel.
Yeah,
outside
round.
in
No,
March.
there's no barrel. There's no
big
barrel.
pile of fire.
There's a big pile of wood that gets set on fire.
There's a 10-cord bonfire.
Yeah, like 10 face cord. Me and Corey cut up last year.
Oh my god.
Me and Corey cut in the pouring rain. We cut that.
Little race, you'll get that started, no problem.
Nope, race oil.
Maybe a soft tire or two.
Yeah.
There was brand new cases of oil.
Yeah,
Well, I got you on the phone.
there's
It's probably
rain,
not going to
race
help
oil,
you at all.
rain.
Or not going to save you any questions. But if you send me your information on your show, I actually sent Wayne a message today, and he didn't respond to me. So.
Yeah, he's busy today. He couldn't make it. I don't know what he's got going on, but I'll get a hold of him and have him send it to you, or I can send it to you later.
Yeah, and then I can put it up on Northeast there for you, and maybe it'll stop a few of the what time does it start, where is it questions.
Yeah.
Gates open at 8. Inspection closes at 1.
That's a good day.
Very good, Jeremy. I
I'll
just
be
said it
there
to
at
you.
8 o'clock and start to inspect.
Chris said it. We're good. Yeah, it's and that's the thing. It's good to see promoters that are in the business to help the drivers out. I mean, it's because for so long it's been the other way around. I mean, there's a guy that drives around in a tour bus that promotes derbies.
Yeah.
And
See, my thing is, I will only support a derby if that promoter himself is a derby driver.
yeah,
How can you understand what derbying is if you've never been in a car before?
Absolutely.
Because
Well, I
obviously
was
you're
in it
just
once
in it
when
for
we
the
got-
money. You've been in a car.
One time.
Hey, it doesn't
You're
matter.
a
But
Gulley.
you've been in a car.
You and Gulley could do the two-man extreme next year at Sanfilippo. I'm sure Gulley waived the rule for you guys.
Absolutely, I'd do it.
There you go,
That
Chris.
makes one of us.
You listen. Just give Jeremy the steering wheel, and you run the gas and the shifter.
I'm going
Negative.
to. I'm going to say something that I never, ever thought that I would say to you, but I like your whole crash course at night plan better than that one.
I'll make you a deal, Brian. You ride with me. You drive. I'll run the pedals.
Absolutely not.
I'm game. Let's do it. Yo, I'll do it. I'm game.
Man,
I'll ride.
I do not like to
chaos
be.
in the valley. I'll go down there. I'll go down to Virginia with you, Brian, if you want. I'll supply the car.
No.
I'll build it.
Nope.
You steer. I'll
No.
run the pedals.
I like being in control, and you are insane. So that's
You're
not
in
going to happen.
control.
I'm not getting in a car with
You
you.
got the steering wheel. You know
See,
what we're hitting.
I drive just like he does, though, because I've seen his in cars when he's cussing at people, and I'm the same way. I'm in the car cussing at people, too. So,
Yeah, the last one from Waterloo had like 50,000
That
views.
was awesome.
So, real quick, what's the likelihood that you'd build a Crown Vic for that, Jeremy? If
What's
you,
that?
If you built all the stuff, you provide the car, Brian rides with you, he does the steering. What's the odds that you would build a Crown Vic?
Oh, absolutely.
See, you wouldn't have to do anything because the steering would break.
Yeah,
no.
he'd still be running. I don't know if you know the motors he owns, but he has high horsepower motors. And I know how fast they'll propel you across the
On the
track.
topic of motors, I'm glad you brought that up. Another opportunity for you. October the 19th at the Fall Cleanup Show, Toby Wise is taking the motor out of his road vehicle and putting it into his truck. Mm-hmm. So you go wreck him again.
Did he tell you that?
I was sitting with you guys.
Oh. No, he's not.
It's been a year, and I'm still getting it. That's okay, Chris.
No, he's
I appreciate
not.
it.
Believe me, no, he's not. He's changing the motor in his road truck because he blew the Hemi up.
I saw a picture
We're
of it.
putting a new one in it.
I will say,
Believe me, no, he's not, because that truck's getting out of my driveway.
I will say that for the little while that Dano ran at Sanfilippo, his Hemi did sound good.
Oh boy, did it! I'm very glad he finally got a good run out of that truck. And, you know, you got to. One thing you can say about Dan is he's always going to be a leader, and he's not going to follow the trend. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You know, from breaking spindles to whatever other problems he had this year, it never came together, and finally had a pretty decent run this last time.
I don't think I would have hit Hirsch the second time without a bumper on the front of the truck, though. That probably wasn't a good choice.
I don't really think he cared.
No, he didn't. Probably until he got home and started looking at the broken parts, and then he might have changed his mind when he got to that point.
I think he probably exploded a transmission because when he caught fire, there was tranny fluid up over his hood. So something made that happen.
Man, that was. I can't remember which class it was in. I think it was one of the obviously full size cars, but there was a blue shocker, and that thing had a motor in it that sounded amazing.
That was Harold Humphreys.
Oh my goodness! And then I don't know if it started eating valves or what, but it started making funny noises, and a bunch of white smoke came out, and it was done. So I don't know what happened to that. But
I like it when that happens. But Dad gets mad.
He used to run. He used to run modified or sportsman.
I was gonna say that name sounds familiar.
Chances are it might have been a big motor in there. I don't know.
It sounded good.
Did you say Humphreys?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harold.
It sounds familiar. I don't know why.
Harold Humphreys, and then he's got a boy too, right? That comes back every now and again and gets in the car.
I don't believe so. I know he's got a daughter, but
I thought I remember Harold in a Dakota or something along those lines at one of the. It might even have been one of the first SanFilippos, and he drove the wheels off. It was a good sounding motor, but I don't remember for sure. It might have been a different family.
Jeremy, how long did Kylie last in the Queens? Because I saw her back up and go to the other end really fast. Then I didn't see her again.
Well, she had old Dookie. She come out on the track when we got done with Isaac's heat, and she asked me if she could run him in the Queens class. So I said okay. I said, but it's hurting the nose. Don't go forward. Yep. First time out, right nose to nose with somebody, and she messed her up pretty good. It still runs and drives, but it's about time to build a new one.
You don't think
down to I don't know, probably 6 or 8, somewhere in there, somewhere in the middle of the pack.
You don't think she drives like anybody else with the last name Gulley, do you?
I can back up if I have to. She cannot at all.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. And then in one of the later heats, there was a bunch of full-size cars, and there was a celebrity. And do you remember this? Do you remember that heat, Jeremy, with the green celebrity?
Was it Chuck?
No, it wasn't a celebrity. It was a front-wheel drive caddy.
Was it?
Yep. It was a 4.1 front-wheel drive caddy. It was
a lot of guys like those.
One of the Finks. First time he'd ever been in a derby car.
And I'm here to tell you,
he did all right for the first time ever.
He was driving it like it was a '67
Dude,
Imperial.
Seriously, some guys love those things. They're tough.
He was hitting people headlight to headlight with that thing. Like Cody Wood had a Charger or something. Monaco. He hit him headlight to headlight, and it tore up that Monaco. It was somebody finally got a hold of him sideways, and it V'd the roof. He got hit so hard. That was one of the last. Yep. That guy was nuts. It was great to watch.
Remember Bill Pullen had one of those, and it had the diesel motor in it? Seneca County.
No, that was Beetle Peters a long time ago.
Yeah, that's the only diesel one that I remember.
That's the only diesel I remember.
That was
forever ago.
He finished second to me on my Imperial that year.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. That's the one I remember.
That's when they outlawed him because he almost killed himself in the car from carbon dioxide.
Probably shouldn't laugh at that. They're quite that hard, you know.
Hey, it is what it is. Twisted. You ever met Beetle Peters?
That was at that time. God rest his soul, Ralph Walburn wasn't a real big fan of mine. And he was sort of against waving that checkered flag over my car at Waterloo. And I was parked against the back of that Cadillac. Ralph comes on and he goes, I think you should have to hit him again. And you can hear it I have a tape at home. You can hear me say, Ralph, if I hit him again, I'm backing all the way to the blocks and I'm coming wide open. He shook his head and waved the flag and walked away. That's how that's at that point, to be that close to my first win at Waterloo in an Imperial, it was going to be one hell of a last shot. So Ralph wasn't happy, but he waved the flag and walked away. God rest his soul. But yeah, it's quite the addiction that we all have.
Are you guys pretty well ready for Paradise?
Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close. We got.
If you ain't now, you ain't ever gonna be.
We're close. We got as far as like the business side, Dad's had that done for months.
Right.
Just the track setup is pretty much what's left,
and that's going to be a little easier because I think that's going to. What we talked about was changing it a little bit.
Oh,
so it's kind of set up like SanFilippo in on turn 4, out turn 1, so it's straight shot into the pits.
Oh, hey.
Whether that's that's not 100. I don't think 110%, but that's what we were talking about here a couple weeks ago was just to try to get the track clean up a little bit faster.
That'd be nice.
And just move those pit grandstands around to the backside next to the trailer. So
I don't know if you got the payouts posted anywhere.
I do. I was going to go over them.
Okay.
You're just now. The full size, $1,500 to win, $750 for second, $375 for third. Compacts, $1,000, $500, $250 through the top three. Trucks, $500, $250, $125. Junk run, $500, $250, $125 for third. Youth, $300, $150, and $75 there. Figure eight, $300, $150, and $75. Just to be clear, make sure everybody knows, October 19th, 2019, Paradise Speedway in Geneva. So we're a week from Saturday for that one to go off. So I know everybody's looking forward to that.
So when do you have to leave? You got to go south before. Is it before the Derby or is it after the Derby?
Yeah, it's before the Derby.
It's like 2 days before, right?
Fly out Tuesday morning at 6 in the morning, and then fly back in Friday night at 11.
Corey's oldest son, Toby, enlisted in the United States Marine Corps out of school and finished his crucible last week. So Corey's son is now a Marine. So he's going to go down there and watch him graduate and bring him back up and watch some derby and some football. So
this was an expensive derby because we would have drove back. Instead, we didn't have time to because I have to derby, so we had to fly.
Yeah. So Corey's a proud dad of a Marine and very, very cool. He's going to bring him home and probably
when
see him.
When are you driving back, or when are you flying back?
Friday night.
Hell, you could have jumped in the truck with me. We'll be down. I'll be down there next week.
What do you guys? You guys go down for baseball, or are you going down to haul cars?
Nah, I'm going down see my kid.
Oh, that's right. You got I forgot you got a grandbaby to go see.
Yeah, she's down in Jacksonville.
Nice.
North Carolina.
Very cool. Forgot about that.
Yeah. So. My bad.
You're fine. It's something with the camera. You're fine. It's not.
If there's any questions on full-size cars, contact Wayne, my older brother. And then pretty much every other class, just get a hold of me. We're going to try to let Wayne just focus on the full-size cars this year.
Yeah, he knows how to cheat them up. I mean, he's a good athlete.
And then I want everybody to come out and have a good time. Pretty much, I like doing it because I can do it with my family.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I do it. If I couldn't do it with my wife and kids, what's the point?
Yeah. It's
Last year, my son was in inspection with me all day.
That's awesome.
Yep.
How'd basketball camp go?
He never went.
Oh.
You got to teach him how to take wheel weights off or something.
I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to get him to weld, but he's too scared to get burnt, and he won't cut his damn hair.
But if he takes wheel weights off, then he's helping you inspect.
Oh, you gotta leave. So. You gotta leave something on.
He's on the tech portion.
Yeah. No, I know. I do. I gotta. He's gonna. I'm not sure if he wants to hang out in the inspection line this year or not. He's getting older now. He wants to hang out with his friends and stuff. But
it won't be long and Dad won't be cool anymore.
I still got my daughter. She's out there.
You're only cool for a few more years there, too.
Yeah. Whatever, guys. I still got my dad. He thinks I'm cool.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, they grew up quick.
Yeah. He wants the Derby, though. He told me the other day he wants the Derby.
That's good. Jet does?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He told me the other day he wants to do it. He wants to do it.
He knows he only has to build one car.
I know.
Tell him chicks dig mad dogs.
That's what I'm talking
about. Oh, goodness. I'll have to ask Jody if that's true, if that's what it was the mad dog driving she went after.
I mean, I got my heavy hitter checks right above my headboard, so.
That's awesome.
To know that.
I think we might see Corey come out of retirement. We were talking the other day at SanFilippo, and he said, he said, I've been building these cars for my kids, and man, I really like the front of them. I like driving forward, so. But then he said this is the thing that keeps me out of compacts. I don't like being sore until the middle of the next week, though.
Oh, my dude, I'm telling you, I was sore after Waterloo this year. I was sore for probably close to 2 months after.
Well, normally people don't run 7 different cars the same day.
Hey, it was fun, though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You got a T-shirt out of it.
I'll take my truck over a compact any day. They hurt.
What's that, Jeremy?
But I'll take my trucks over a compact any day. Them damn compacts hurt.
They do hurt. I
give props to these young fellas that jump in. You can watch a few of them, their heads slam off the damn steering wheel, and they just go again.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how they do it. I don't ever remember being that silly, but maybe at one time I was.
That's the problem. That's why you don't remember.
I don't know. I remember you bringing a fresh mod car to Waterloo, and you drove that pretty silly, and you don't remember portions of the night.
Well,
I was there. I remember that.
Listen,
That's a hard car.
Concussion protocol in Derby.
I also remember Hanson's car. That was a lot harder.
That was wild.
The nose of my Impala did not like that wagon.
Like I said, I like watching them run, but I would never want to build one.
It was fun. I won't never do it again. It's just too much. It makes you not want to do it.
I kind of disagree. Well, I don't disagree with you, but you know, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort, but sometimes it keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah, I also built 7 cars for my hometown show, though.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, I spent 7 months in the garage building my bass truck, but
Yeah, I'm good.
you know, it just, I don't know.
Yeah, one. I built my Waterloo truck in like a week.
When you see the finished project, and you go out and you run it, and it don't bend, it don't, you know.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm right there with you. I just don't got the patience.
Yeah. Well,
Get there, grasshopper.
it's a little ways away, but what do you do with that truck? Because it is still pretty straight. It just needs a new power plant.
It's sitting in the dingleweeds right now.
Put a motor in it, bring it to the cleanup.
It'd take them that long to get the motor out of it because it's all sorts of stuck in there.
Packed right in.
Well, you got to take the body off to get the motor out.
Oh, never mind. I don't want you to have to work that hard.
Yeah.
Oh, it's out. It's out at old Dr. Divers. We're gonna put a new set of pistons in it and see what happens.
I think a lot of the stuff that Diver learns from year to year is how Jeremy breaks his motors. Okay, so if you turn it at 9,200 RPMs, this is what's going to happen because that's what Jeremy was turning.
Funny you should mention that, Brian. I was talking to Jason today on Messenger, and he said 20 years he's never had a motor blow up. And I said, well, that's just because you're not ready for me yet. Got to go back to the drawing board.
I didn't hurt mine this year, but Wayne hurt his.
You definitely get your money's worth out of your Derby motors, Jeremy.
If you're turning a motor at 9,000, use the pulleys and make it stop right now.
Oh yeah,
not a good thing.
Yeah, why not? I'd do it. Dad would not be happy, but
see, that's why I like running my junkyard motors. I blow them things up, and it's $100 for another
junkyard motor.
That's all it is with it. Intake and a carburetor.
Oh, okay.
You got any extra intakes?
I ain't never heard a junkyard motor sound like that before.
That's all it is. Little Magnum.
Well, my little 283 sounds like that too, and it ain't nothing special either.
That's what Mike Klinger runs.
283s? Yeah,
Mike
they're awesome. I love my 283s.
Mike Klinger said he ran the one he had in this.
The one I got now, I haven't ran yet. My new one. I'm running it next year. But my motor this year, that's a 305.
Yeah, Mike said the 283 that he ran at SanFilippo, I think he said he ran it 6 or 8 times this summer.
Remember a couple years ago at Canandaigua, I had that, or at Waterloo, I had that lime green town car, and they wouldn't let me run it, or that Continental. Mm-hmm. That had a 283 in it, and then I went to Canandaigua and won with it.
Well, isn't that what your dad built for
Jake?
Doyle?
Yeah, that's what Jake's got.
Yeah, that's a screaming motor too. Yeah. They are good little Derby motors. Really,
I love it. I mean, my old one. I missed my old one, but I forgot to drain the water.
Just stack the gear to them a little bit, though.
Oh
yeah. But they'll take it.
Yeah,
they'll take it. They like that gear.
I'm going like 4 somethings next year. I want 5s, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Probably the best Derby motor I've ever owned was out of a late '70s Monte Carlo. It was a 267.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Yep. No.
All I did was. That was before race, that was before front performance motors and all this, and I took that 267, pulled it out, pulled the heads of the intake off, put a new set of gaskets on it. I had 15 runs on it with 513 gears, and I actually won a show once with it.
Yeah. They're good little motors.
It would just take the heat and loved every minute of it.
Thick cylinder walls, thick.
It only had about 80 horsepower, but 6,300 was a struggle to get. But it would just keep going, keep chugging, man.
Wow. What was that out of originally?
So it was out of
it was late 70s Monte Carlo, like a 77 or 78, 79 Monte Carlo.
I've never heard of that motor. Not that I'm a big Chevy guy, but I've never heard of that.
You should try it.
they produced that one. It was a 4.3 actually. It was a 4.3, but it was an 8-cylinder.
Oh, shit.
They produced that when the big gas crunch brought them down for fuel economy.
Gotcha.
And then they put it in a
Only-
monster car that
only
didn't
2
really help
years.
it any.
That's
You weren't
crazy.
even born yet when that stuff was happening, so it's fine.
Oh, yes. Yo, let's roll in this room, jerk.
I definitely was not born yet.
I don't remember, but I've heard stories.
That was about the same time AJ Foyt was at your grandfather's house, right?
Yes. AJ Foyt. He's the man.
Right?
Right.
Did I get the story wrong?
No, what are you talking about?
It was all about that same time when he was coming to your parents' house.
AJ Foyt. Who are you talking
Didn't
about?
you tell me that you had a bunch of race people, people that I wouldn't even believe came to your parents' house?
Like from
In the-
Canada. Not like big names.
Whatever. You made me look stupid.
You did that on your own.
I'm trying to pair it up with the time frame. All right.
Anyways,
Yeah.
come out to the cleanup next weekend. Watch
Absolutely.
some stuff get junked. I don't know if you came last year, but our figure 8 track is going to be the same. It's going to be as big as it was last year. And
Mm-hmm.
were you there last year, right? Or
It's
that
like
thing?
a quarter of a mile.
Yeah, it's like
figure
a
eight.
quarter of a mile figure 8 track. It is huge.
You get up some speed. Them intersections are cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, dude. Like this thing is seriously like
It's the closest to banger
probably-
racing in the States as you're
it's
going to get.
probably as long as a football field at least.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah. And
I
then,
stood up on I
watch
went
our
big piles by the telephone pole.
Counting
That
laps-
was the
counting laps
safest
for
spot
us.
to be.
and then come out, watch the kids, the 12 to 15-year-olds. Watch them make some junk. That's my favorite part of the day right there. We let them go right out first. Get them nerves right out of the way. Get it right over and done with.
That's all.
I
That's
heard
all
the
set
youth say
forward.
they wanted less water, though, this year.
Yeah, because they do run hard.
That all goes down on the 19th of October at Paradise Speedway in Geneva. Guys,
2 p.m. start time.
full-size 1,500 win, compact 1,000 win, 6 divisions. You don't want to miss it. Online, just punch in Fall Cleanup Derby. All the information comes right up. Everything's there. Then there's a website as well that you can link to through the Facebook page. Facebook page.
Any
has been pretty busy.
questions? Let me know.
Get a hold of Timothy Ellison on Facebook. It's very formal there.
Yeah.
Timothy.
Has to be for work.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. It's always
We
good to see
appreciate
you.
you having us.
Absolutely.
Brought my Jackman with me. See his shirt?
I saw that.
He's the Jackman. That's my guy.
Well, and Jeremy, man, appreciate you coming on the show. I'm glad that the SanFilippo 4 went so well, and no less, I'm sure that the bar will be raised for SanFilippo 5.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess go get some rest, and maybe the weather will be better for you next couple of days to make your final trips up to Morris and get the last bits of SanFilippo 4 cleaned up.
Have a good day, gentlemen.
See
Take
you,
it easy,
bud.
Jeremy.
Good luck this weekend or next weekend.
Next weekend. Thank
Go
you.
and enjoy yourself, and hope you get a lot of cars, bud.
Thank you.
There goes. See you later, Jeremy. There goes Jeremy Gulley, online spinningwheelsproductions.com. You can find them on the website.
Yeah, this is our 5th year. I couldn't believe that the other day.
Has it been 5 years already?
This is our
Wow.
5th year. That's crazy. I think we've already been doing it for 5 years.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Honestly, I love it. I love every bit of it. The only thing I hate is I can't run. The only thing that I hate is I cannot run. I could run if I gave up complete, and I had nothing to do with any of it. But I don't want to.
I can't run because I can't build freaking 4 cars.
Well,
Because we know Dad builds the kids' cars first.
He could, but he don't ask the right questions for help.
Listen.
It's hard enough for one guy to hide what he's doing, let alone get 2 or 3 in there to hide it all. It's got to be,
No. Our issue is we had race season this year. That's where the Jackman name came from. He runs the Jack at the racetrack. We go every Friday night, me and him.
So we thought race season was over, so
Yeah.
we could get building fall cleanup cars.
Yep,
and
that didn't happen. Then Dad acquired a different car. So then we had to rebuild that whole new car for one race. And then
I thought he was selling out at the end of the year.
So did we.
so did
How
we started doing other stuff. We started making other commitments and then had to stop.
He says, "Oh look, Saturday's going to be a nice out. Might as well go to the track."
Who we going to watch? No, I got another car. Guys, can you guys come out Monday? Dad, it's Sunday at 8 p.m.
Which turned out to be that was just a small version of fall cleanup.
Oh, goodness.
We love it though. It's so much fun. Like I said, we get to hang out with our family all day too. You know, his kids go, my kids are there, his wife's there,
That's
my
always
dad's
cool
there,
for
everybody.
Yeah, our whole friend group is there. It's a good time.
Well, you don't want to miss it. October the 19th is the annual fall cleanup show at Paradise Speedway. We are now 1 month away from the opening round of qualifying at Blizzard Bash. The pit party November the 6th, 7 to 10 o'clock at the main expo center. November the 7th is the first round of qualifying for the national and qualifying team brackets. November the 8th is the second round of qualifying heats for the national and qualifying team brackets. November the 9th is the compact and limited weld team heats. All the Team B features trucks, limited weld one and dones on the docket for November 9th, and the championship Sunday, all the Team A mains online.
We don't have to take like 7 days off.
BlizzardBash.com. If you want more information on that, BlizzardBash.com. Smash It Demolition Derbies does have one final derby before they make the trip out to the Kansas Expo Center to peak October the 12th at the Fayette County Fairgrounds. That's Washington Courthouse, Ohio. 6 o'clock start for their cleanup show. Full-size cleanup, compacts, end-of-year pro stock, street stock mowers, and Power Wheels online, SmashItDerby.com. That, I think, is going to do it for us here. Episode 292 is in the book. We appreciate everybody coming on and hanging out. We're going to be looking forward to talking with Steve SanFilippo. I hope next week we'll be able to talk to him about getting ready for the trip out to Topeka, Kansas. We'll go full court press on through the month of November leading up to Blizzard Bash. We'll also have a chance to catch up with him about his win at the Keystone Nationals. That is going to do it for us. Once again, 292 in the book. Thanks for the guests. We'll see you everybody next time.
The Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derbies, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at SmashItDerby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at StirringDirtRacing.com. Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.